Hi, my name's Jami, and I am a survivor of triple negative breast cancer. I endured 16 rounds of chemotherapy and at this point, 6 surgeries between mastectomy and all of the reconstruction process. Today, I'm coming to you in a bit of a different setting. Usually, I'm in a pretty plain background, pretty basic, but today I'm coming to you from the kitchen, and there is a reason for that. Today's video is going to be talking about all kinds of different kitchen items or foods that I found really helpful on my chemo journey. Now, I'm sharing this with you twofold. One is if you are that person that is about to start chemo or in the throes of chemo itself, I hope that this video will give you some things that might be helpful for you on your journey. I have created an Amazon storefront of many of the items I'm going to talk about today, and I would encourage you, if you are that person in the middle of chemo, to create an Amazon wish list and share this out with your friends and family. I did this at the first of my treatment, and it was so helpful for people that wanted to help but didn't know what to do. When I shared that Amazon storefront, they knew exactly what I needed, and let me tell you, they wiped that wish list clean and bought every single item. Now, if you're watching this because you have a loved one that is about to start chemotherapy, I hope that you'll pay attention to the things that I found really helpful in my journey. Now, that doesn't mean that this is a end-all be-all of lists or that this is going to be items that work for everyone. So I would encourage you to think about these items, but also just use it to stir conversation with your friend or family member as to specific items that they might need, instead of asking that broad question of, hey, what can I do for you? What do you need? That broad question is really tough to answer when you're in the middle of the ickiness of chemo. So be more specific, ask their favorite flavors of things, ask if they enjoy something, ask if they have any dietary restrictions or different things like that. So with all of that said, let's jump right into my list. My number one tip for you on your chemo journey is protein, protein, protein. On those days that I felt just absolutely miserable and didn't even want to roll out of bed, my mom came over often to help, or my husband would come home from work and make me something with protein. So these are the ones that I loved best. Protein shakes. I had 2 different brands that I really loved, and these are those brands, KOS and OM. I don't know if I'm pronouncing those right, but these were my favorite kinds of protein. Now, I really focused on organic and low sugar, but good quality products. This one specifically has a lot of superfoods in it. Actually, the KOS does too. So both of these, I did a lot of research on different proteins and I found these helpful. Now, these are ones to be used to made into a shake. So I would use coconut milk was my preference, and then mix in some fruit as well. I really like to get a frozen berry blend, and I kept that in the freezer, but also bananas were great too. So these made awesome protein shakes. Even if I only got a sip or 2 in my body, it really helped me feel better. There's just something about protein fueling the body. Now, another thing that I would add, I tried to find a package, but I just put it in these glass jars. These are what is called super seeds. I have them listed on my Amazon storefront, so you know what to look for, but I actually could get these at Walmart. It's a mixture of hemp, oh gosh, now I can't even think of it, but it's on my Amazon storefront. I would add this to those protein shakes, and it would just add a little more protein, a little more fiber, make that drink a little bit healthier, because sometimes that's all that I would have in a single day. Now, if you don't have the luxury of having the ability for someone to come over and help you, these are a great option as well. I actually just found these. I wish I would have had these in the middle of my chemo journey. The brand is Slate. They have tons of different flavors. I like to get the package on Amazon that is strawberry, chocolate, and vanilla. I think they call it Neapolitan. Now, I can find these at my local grocery store called Sprouts. So you might do that if you can find them locally, Whole Foods or Sprouts. just to try the different flavors and see what ones you like, but they're way cheaper on Amazon. So once you know the flavors that you like, definitely jump over to Amazon. Now, while we're on the topic of protein, I also found a couple brands of protein that I mixed in water. Now, I didn't find these until I was on my reconstruction journey, but protein is very important even after surgeries, after that mastectomy. So Nectar brand, I really like the peach one. This one, again, I found at Sprouts. It is Rocket Pop brand. And then this I found at Target, the Bloom brand. Now, some of these are also on Amazon. Here is my tip for those. Do not use a shaker bottle because they foam up really bad. If you shake that in a shaker bottle, it is going to explode. Do not use a shaker bottle. I just used a spoon or one of those tiny little milk frother whisks. That's what I use to make those. Also, I would mix in an electrolyte packet to those to kind of take away that protein flavor and add more flavor. That leads right into electrolytes. I had a couple favorite brands. I really loved the Waterboy brand. I absolutely love the Ultima brand. And this is Peach Bellini. They have a packet of electrolytes that are all like mock-teeny flavors. My absolute favorite. They were delicious. Stir was another brand that I enjoyed. I found this at Target, which was really helpful. I had a friend recommend Elementi, or I don't know if you call it Element. I found this one to be a little too salty for me. I used it mixed in with my proteins, but I could not handle this one just in water alone. It was just too sour and too much. So that is a great, I said item number 1, but that was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know how many items I talked about right there. Those were really beneficial to always have on hand to give me high protein and hydrate me at the same time. Okay, for this next section, I am talking to those of you who have a loved one in the throes of chemo. This right here, a DoorDash gift card, was amazing. Also Instacart. I don't have one to show you. Imagine it right here, an Instacart gift card. These were so helpful. DoorDash on days that I just couldn't even think about what to cook, but also Instacart to grab those groceries that I needed and have them delivered right to my door. Always a fabulous, fabulous gift to anyone after surgery or in the throes of chemo. Okay, for this next part, let's talk about foods itself. Remember, we're focusing on protein and good nutrition here. Snacky snacks. I talked about this in the chemo bag section, but I loved applesauce pouches. Really no protein there, but it's just something in your stomach on those days that you can't stomach anything. I always love to have little nut packets or dried fruit packets to nibble on because I could eat just one nut, get it down in my stomach, wait a second, and have another one. When you're in the throes of chemo, you're not like eating. All we're focusing on is things that you can take a little bite of and let it set and then take another bite later. Let's talk about protein bars. I had tons of favorites. They're all listed on my Amazon storefront. RX bars were awesome. I loved the Kind Zero. Now, I did focus on reducing my sugars. That is somewhat controversial in the chemo world, but I thought it doesn't help, or it doesn't hurt. It can only help. So I did cut out as much sugar as possible. So Kind Zero bars were great. This is like a caramely one, caramel, almond, and sea salt. It was almost like a little treat. Now, if you want to talk about a protein bar that tastes like a candy bar, these Misfits are my new find. And this one right here, the caramel fudge, tastes like a candy bar, but super high protein, gluten-free, only 1 gram of sugar, 15 grams of protein. That is a fabulous find right there. But like I said, lots of protein bars out there. I focused on ones high protein and low sugar. Let's talk about something else that I ate tons on my journey, and it was this right here, rice and beans. Now, these are both items from Costco because I would buy them like a case at a time. I loved this brown rice right here because it is pretty much fully cooked. I mean, it is fully cooked. You just peel back the top a little bit, add some water, pop it in the microwave, and it's good to go. I was not aware that rice had high protein, but this package right here has 7 grams of protein. That's pretty good for something that's also easy on the stomach. Now, often I would also heat up some black beans. These were something that when I was in the house by myself, I could easily make. Pour this in a pan, add a little bit of water, put this in the microwave. I could have a meal, quote unquote, a meal that I cooked myself. These beans, 7 grams of protein for a half of a cup. So if I did this rice package, and so that's a full serving, this rice package and like a third of this can of beans, that's 14 grams of protein and something that I could just easily nibble on. So those are some great foods to have on hand. Also, I ate a lot of avocado toast. So avocados, and I had a friend that made me sourdough bread and brought it over to me. Avocado toast was a staple in my chemo diet. Also bananas, yogurt drinks that I could get at Walmart, Target, a local grocery store. They were the Chobani brand, but they actually have a 0 sugar brand that I could just sip on those as well. Those were things that I had to have on hand all the time on my chemo journey. Oops. Forgot to tell you about ginger tea. Ginger tea was something that really helped me when I had an upset stomach. There's tons of different brands out there. I loved this one because it had a little more flavor to it. Lemon, ginger, and Manuka honey, and it's an organic brand, but there's tons available out there. Okay guys, we're gonna wrap up this series with different other items other than food that I had to have on my chemo journey. And this was one of them, a Brita water filter. I now have a new refrigerator that has a filter in it, but I didn't have that on my chemo journey. So a Brita water filter was a must have. Have you ever looked at how nasty tap water is? That's a #1 reason that you should be filtering your water. But oddly, my taste buds went into like overdrive during chemo. I don't know if everyone experiences that, but I definitely did. And I didn't like the taste of tap water. I kind of became a water snob. I really already was, but it even got worse. So Brita pitcher, it was a fabulous thing that I had to have. Now let's talk about what I drank that water out of. I have shared this cup numerous times in my shorts and in other long videos, but this Vin Glacé glass is the only thing I wanted to drink out of during my chemo journey. It is a glass tumbler, glass insert, comes with a glass straw, comes with the lid. This is the only insulated glass tumbler that I found. There's lots of glass out there. Now, why glass? #1, let's talk about the taste. That is super important. I could taste metal. I don't know why. One of the chemos that I was on actually left a metallic taste in my mouth, but then when I would use something metal, like a metal tumbler, it just made it even worse. So glass is where it was at. Also, I tried to stay away from all plastics. I'm still staying away from plastics as much as possible. If you're questioning why, do a deep dive on microplastics and what it's been found to do to your body. So stay away from plastic as much as possible. So let's talk about this glass straw. You can actually buy packages of glass straws on Amazon. I have both of these items, of course, linked in my Amazon storefront, but I cannot praise this cup enough because I absolutely love this cup. My only complaint is this is the biggest size it comes in. I really wish I could have a big, giant Vin Glacé tumbler. Now, while we're talking about that metal taste in the mouth, metal silverware was sometimes the problem during my chemo journey because it would make food taste like metal. So I found this wheat straw set. I absolutely love them because it comes in a little to-go box. So if you're going out to lunch somewhere, you can take it with you. It has all the utensils you need, including chopsticks. You have your fork, your knife, your spoon, and chopsticks in a fun little to-go container. So I liked to keep this tucked in my purse for when I was out and about having lunch with friends or family member. It was always on hand and I had it ready. Let me think. I believe that's everything in this section of helpful items for your chemo journey. I love to share with you guys everything that helped me on my journey. So make sure you like this video, follow me because I'm gonna be sharing even more. But I wanna know in the comments what items really helped you on your chemo journey because maybe I've forgotten to add them to my list. Tell me in the comments what you love to have on your chemo journey and we'll see you next time.